advising clients across the country. Here he is, your host, J. Christopher Boyd.
Welcome back to Something More with Chris Boyd. I'm here with Jeff Perry. We are both of Asset Management Resources, and we really appreciate you joining us for the podcast and radio show, Something More with Chris Boyd. We are talking about the lottery now. You know, the lottery has been in the news because of this incredible run-up. Actually, both the Powerball and the Mega Millions, but Powerball this week had a big winner of a $1 billion winner, which I think I saw it translated to $558 million as a cash jackpot.
Yeah,
before
one
tax.
time, one payment. Right.
Now that sounds fabulous. And of course, all you people who played the lottery, don't forget to check your tickets. You might not have won the big jackpot, but maybe you won at least a free ticket, you know, or get enough to recover your costs. Maybe not, but it's worth a check, you know. I saw there was something like 36 people who won $1 million in that jackpot. And last night, the Mega Millions had a jackpot for over 700, I think it was 720 million or something like that. Nearly 370 million in cash. I hadn't heard whether there was a winner for that one.
I haven't heard either.
But
the one earlier in the week, the winner was from Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's right.
And they, somewhere in the garment district, they showed an image of the store. It was closed at the time. I don't know. Maybe the store owner gets $1 million too. So maybe they're
maybe they'll retire too, right? Yeah,
right.
That's pretty awesome that the store gets $1 million.
Yeah, that's well, everybody should share in it, and
they get a piece of the action. Huh? Has it changed? The dollar amount change as the jackpot size changes?
I don't think it gets bigger than that. That's probably the maximum, right?
Probably is smaller though, huh?
We, anyway. As some people know, in the 90s and into the early 2000s, we owned a couple of packaged convenience stores, and we sold lottery.
Oh wow!
And we, So just for information, I don't know if people care, but the store gets 5% of the sales of what they sell, and 1% of the winnings.
Oh wow!
So, but it has a cap, and I doubt the cap is more than $1 million.
Yeah.
We never sold $1 million.
Never got your $1 million payday.
No, we had a bunch of 10,000s over the years.
Cool.
Meaning a $10,000 winner.
Not
a 10.
And you got 1% of that, or whatever it was of that.
Yeah. We never. It's $100. We never had. We never had like the big $1 million plus, and so we owned. That was 9 years. So if you think about it, if you came in our store,
the odds are even harder for the lottery store owner, winner, the convenience store winner.
Well, I always thought of it like if you came into our store and bought every ticket we sold, right? You know, hundreds and millions of dollars of tickets, actually.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have won that much. But I don't blame anybody when these jackpots get up there throwing a couple dollars down.
Who doesn't like to take a chance? Got $1 in a dream. In this case, it's $2 in the dream, but
it's worth $2. You get more excitement and
a lot
positive
of
thought than you do by.
What would you do with that money?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be so generous. Right.
I think you would be, but you know,
we were talking about this at dinner the other day with my father-in-law was saying that he was away and he's like, oh, you know, include me in the
group ticket.
The ticket, yeah.
I
was like, oh, that's a lawsuit in the making. If they won, you know, someone's gonna be like, you're out, you didn't pay, you know, and you know, like I just you know.
Well, you see over the years,
want to do that. No offense to any of my coworkers,
no.
Jeff, but
none taken.
I'm just gonna do it on my own. You can get yours.
Well, there's so many stories about.
I'll be generous to you maybe when the time comes. But
you buy me lunch.
We'll see.
So many stories about those lottery pools, you know, where everybody throws in $2 in this case, and there's 20 people. So somebody goes down. Somebody missed it that week, but they did it every other week.
Yeah, and they're out of luck, right?
Yep. Or the person buying the ticket disappears.
Yeah. Or
This is
says, "Oh
something
no, that ticket was the one I bought for my
that was
family."
mine. That was
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah, you
Here's
wrote that
we
up.
didn't win. So yeah, but hey, if you win, you've got some
Yeah, you gotta have
decisions.
a little transparency when you do that. If you're the guy or lady buying the tickets, make copies for everybody.
Yeah, make
These are the tickets
copies,
we got for.
initial them, and
Yeah.
well, it's a good problem when you have a sudden influx of money. It
Say
happens
that
all.
again. It's a good problem.
It's a good problem to have, meaning winning, right? Not not being cheated out of it, but it's a good problem to have if you win. But it also causes, it causes a lot of things that you got to think about. Meaning, you're going to have a lot of relatives that you forget about. You're going to have a lot of new friends and old friends that you hear from. So you have to be kind of intentional about what you do.
So true. Let's talk about this a little bit. Some of the pitfalls people have to be thinking about with sudden wealth.
Well,
You know what I mean?
let's stay on the ticket for 1 second. Like, secure the ticket,
Yeah,
right?
if you actually won, and
Right. You
well,
want
you
on
should
a
probably sign it instantly if
sign
it's
it, take a
yours.
picture of it, get it into a fireproof locked box, and don't tell anyone.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder about estate planning. Like, I think it's probably too late. Like, you couldn't really
No, I don't think it's too late before you. I think if you have to do these
before
things
you claim
before
it.
you claim it, right?
It would be, even though you've won, you could create the planning and such.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, that seems like that
Absolutely.
would be good advice. Go
Yep.
go talk to some good counsel.
One of my first calls would be to your brother.
Yeah, me too.
For those who don't know, Chris's brother is Keats Boyd. He's an estate planning attorney, and yes, so it would be. I mean, we joke about it, but of course it would be like, I won this. What
Yeah.
do I do? Like,
You
not
probably
just
also want to think a little, like maybe have some anonymous, like have someone else collect if you can. Not all states allow you to have
right.
intermediary, but I
Well,
mean,
to
do
me,
you
that's
really
where the
want to
trust.
be hounded by everybody knowing you won $1 billion or whatever?
No, that's
Yeah.
where the trust comes in. If your state allows it, and some states don't allow it because you agree by buying the ticket that you'll participate in their promotion and advertising.
Yeah.
So, but if your state does allow it, yeah, set up a trust without your name on the trust.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the Chris Boyd lottery winning trust.
Yeah,
Somebody might
right.
find out.
Yeah. Oh, geez, darn it. Yeah. Didn't think of that.
The Daisy Do Trust or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. But yes, you do need you need professionals. You need an estate planning attorney to figure out what's the best entity to take this in, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You need a financial advisor, because even if you're astute with your money, this is a level of wealth and the options and
The headaches just expanded dramatically.
right.
Even though it's like a blessing, many times over, it's got a lot of complexity and a lot of issues that
And
need
bring your
considered.
CPA with you, at the same
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah.
So, and money's not an issue. You hire these people and you get them in a room and you make a plan.
True. Good point.
Don't worry about their fees. They're going to be like,
well, just the magnitude of this kind of a thing is a little different than what probably most, lottery winners would envision.
sure.
Or it doesn't have to be even lottery. It can be sudden wealth, and can be an inheritance, can
Right.
be there can be a variety of ways people have unexpected wealth. I mean, it doesn't happen usually unexpectedly, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Somewhat suddenly, perhaps. And you definitely need to think in terms of good counsel, to your point. The structure is certainly part of it. We've had some clients who were lottery winners. In one of our longest clients, one of their family members went to school with my brother. The parents won the lottery. This was 30 odd years ago, that the family I'm thinking of, and they had a payout over time. they didn't do I don't think it was an option for a cash payout for the version of the lottery they won at that time. Predates Mega Millions and, Powerball and that kind of thing. But it was still millions of dollars and, made a difference in their life, their financial security. Instead of working as long as they might have, they were able to slow it down, and work on the pace they wanted, and which, I think they still worked, but to a lesser degree, and they were able to buy a nice house locally, buy a nice house
somewhere else,
somewhere down south,
yeah,
that kind of thing. And so, enhance the quality of their life, but, they weren't in the situation. Like, I think a lot of times when someone wins the lottery, they think, I'm rich. And in their case, they had enough that it was helpful, but not so much that they had a false sense of wealth, this like that they had so much, it drastically changed their lifestyle.
The big difference between $1 million and $1 billion.
Yeah, it enhanced their lifestyle, but it
Right.
didn't drastically change. It wasn't like night and day. And so they didn't get caught. I think a lot of times lottery winners get caught in the trap where they think they're so rich that they can have an entourage, they can buy, and all these things that you buy oftentimes have ongoing expense.
Right. If you buy a mansion, it costs you money to run the mansion.
There's tax, there's, heat, there's the pool, there's the pool
upkeep, staff, usually.
Staff, yeah. All this kind of stuff that can undo their perception of wealth. And I mean, I don't have the stats. I don't know if you do, but there's the story of how many lottery winners become bankrupt, ultimately file for bankruptcy because of this. I think it's also true that in circumstances when someone has a sudden degree of wealth, and this happens in various circumstances, not just
sports is what I'm thinking.
Sports.
Get out of college, gets the big contract.
Yeah, you get just to where my head was at, that kind of thing. Right. Someone suddenly has wealth. Everyone comes out of the woodwork. Hey, I got this great idea for a new business. I was thinking you could give me a loan that never gets paid back. That kind of thing, that you can end up with some of these challenges where it can be very disruptive to one's ability to create wealth or retain that wealth and their own financial security. I mean, and I don't know the first thing about entertainment world, but it seems like these entertainers that make a ton of money, but they've also got an agent, they've got this person, they got all these different parts of the puzzle that get a piece of the action that maybe they don't get as much as they think. I'm sure the same is true with sports and all that.
Not only the people just hounding you for money, but it must be emotionally, while you're so positive about your influx of assets, cash, but just the drain of getting all these requests and wondering if this person is my friend or they just want something. It's got to be difficult.
Undermine your trust in people when you feel like, who's my real friend,
right?
And who's befriending me because of either, in the case of celebrity, it's celebrity. In other cases, it's because they want to ride on your yacht or whatever it might be.
That's right. Yep. So
it's not sure that's true.
So all the more reason to be anonymous.
Yeah. Now, did you have some lessons for people who I thought you had an article that we were going to maybe
drop. There was a bunch of articles. I'll just go through some of the things. This is on money wisdom, and there was one on fortune. They all have the same. This is from a credit union, Hanscom Federal Credit Union, which is in Massachusetts. Not 9 smart moves for lottery winners. There was an article I read in Fortune magazine, and it wasn't identical, but it's the same theme. Secure your ticket, hire an experienced estate attorney, CPA, financial advisor. This talks about setting up a trust, right? So we talked on that. One thing we didn't talk about is if it is public to hire a media advisor or a media representative, right? Because
Yeah,
it's
interesting.
going to be that type of scene where people want to get you on.
A little frenzied. Yeah.
Hmm
And I'm sure it's challenging with people who get bombarded with calls from people looking to provide them services of one type or another.
Sure.
Whether it's, in my case, I think of financial advice, and someone else, it's going to be like, oh, you need a new pool, or, a realtor, or, let's get to that mansion, whatever. I'm sure you get bombarded with calls
Yeah.
of like, I'm here for you.
No, I don't want any money. I'm just here for you. I'm your friend.
Yeah.
In addition to all the sob stories, all the letters and emails or people communicating with you, however, saying, I need $10,000 for this surgery. I'm homeless. I need care from my addicted daughter, whatever it is, probably many super worthy causes, but it's going to be overwhelming.
Scams. And so much of that is probably not difficult and not easy to navigate of what's valid, what's bogus.
Yeah.
I do think most people who win like crazy money like that would say, my new job is going to be philanthropy. You know what I mean? I'm sure you'd think that way, but you got to be intentional about how you structure things, how you plan for things. There's ways to do it. And I'm sure it's a little bit of strategy at the outset. And
I think I'd have my team of advisors vet them out and say, I'm going to entertain one a month. You guys vet all this out and give me your best case.
Yeah.
Which gives you some
like that. Or, you're going to create a foundation or whatever it is, and they'll help you navigate those kinds of what's worthy, what's not.
And you want to be generous. I think most people would have the, a spirit of generosity, but you can't give it all away. You could. I shouldn't say you can't.
Yeah, true. But would you want to necessarily? Yeah.
Another one which makes What's that?
Bill Gates is going to.
Yes, he is. Yeah, there's quite a few of them.
And Buffett, these people that have like crazy money.
Oh, look at Carnegie. Selling
made an impact long term. Yeah.
Yep. So it's what you want your legacy to be, what you want your life to be, but you have to create a structure and a circle around you of people to assist you with that. One of the pieces of advice which I would definitely follow is to go silent. Meaning, give your phone to somebody else. Have that media advisor. Even maybe go away. Go somewhere else while all the noise is there, just so you can have time to breathe and time to reflect, and so you're just not overwhelmed with everything. I think that is something you'd have to do.
You'd really need to reconsider what's my life purpose now.
Yeah, what do I want to do with this? How can I
go to your new private island?
Whatever it is.
Just teasing.
So things like that is what these articles are talking about. Like to be purposeful, get advice, take some time, secure the ticket, and when you do cash it in, have your plan and your strategy all mapped out. Obviously, I think our listeners are more sophisticated than most people who are just listening to or going to the Barbie movie. Maybe sorry for that.
But a little dig there on the Barbie movie.
A little bit. But I'm saying our listeners who listen to the show are more sophisticated, so they probably are aware that a big chunk of this, especially if you take it all at once, is going to be in income taxes.
Yeah. How would you do it, Jeff? Would you take it all at once, or would you take it over time?
I think I'd give you a call and we'd run the number, right? I mean, because
I don't know. My feeling is I'd just be inclined to just take the hit, take the money,
take the hit. It's yours. You can manage it.
Dealing with, I don't know.
I don't know. You're gonna pay the tax.
Is part of the, how much are we talking about, right?
Right, of course.
And how that affects your.
I still got the $1 billion number in my head. So $1.5 billion and some odd million before taxes, after taxes.
I don't know,
300 maybe. Yeah.
Call it 3. Okay, fine. Still,
I'm still okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe in the midst of that, though, you say, "Oh, I'm going to put so much toward a charitable endeavor," and that you could get more elaborate. And again, that's where the good advice comes in, where you really.
I'm gonna give you at least $100 million to manage for me in case I screw up the first $200 million.
Thanks.
Have a backup. Have a backup plan, right?
Yeah. And then throw a chunk in treasuries. Nothing to worry about here.
Yeah. Well, I think I might diversify. I'm not putting my $300 million all in the hands of the federal government.
Yeah, based on recent experience with the deficit, the talks there.
Debt ceiling.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, they've run through that pretty quick. Yeah, that's another topic.
You're listening to Something More with Chris Boyd, Financial Talk Show.
Asset Management Resources, LLC, and J. Christopher Boyd, CFP, provide investment advice on an individual basis to clients only. Proper advice depends on a complete analysis of all facts and circumstances. The information given on this program is in the nature of general financial comments and cannot be relied upon as pertaining to your specific situation. AMR, LLC cannot guarantee that using the information from this show will generate profits or ensure freedom from loss. Listeners should consult their own financial advisors or conduct their own due diligence before making any financial decisions.